My name is Root, the Rational Root on Twitter, and I do cycle and on-chain analysis. And I value privacy, as you can see. You know, I'm a carrot who loves to make awesome Bitcoin charts like the one that you can see behind me. It's Bitcoin represented as the monetary black hole. And you can see Bitcoin's price spinning inwards, absorbing all value. And the price is shown not in dollars per Bitcoin, but in sats per dollar. How much sats can you get per $1? And the price is spinning inwards, where the center of this black hole is sat dollar parity, where one sat equals $1. And each rotation in this circle, it represents one halving, or 210,000 blocks. Now, why is Bitcoin absorbing all this value? It's because Bitcoin is the hardest money. And why is Bitcoin the hardest money? Because Bitcoin scores really well on all monetary properties. And in today's presentation, I want to zoom in on one of those properties, which is scarcity. And we're going to look at digital scarcity in particular. And we're going to look at it through an on-chain lens. But I really like to get to the root of things. And so we're going to start from the very basics so everyone can follow. And we're going to work our way up to view digital scarcity from an on-chain perspective. Now, we always had physical scarcity. But with Bitcoin, we now have digital scarcity. And it turns out there were always two ways of doing money. You could do money through a ledger system or through an object. And there is a clear difference between the two, because an object doesn't require any information. The information is carried by the object itself. If I have a gold coin and I give you the gold coin, I no longer have it, and so there's no need to keep track of any information. Whereas with a ledger system, we need to keep track of the order of transactions, because if we lose that order, if there's tampered with that order, then we lose scarcity. And a ledger is nothing new to Bitcoin. Ledgers have existed as far back as the island of Yap, where they would use raised stones. They would carve who owns what to who in one of those stones. But in the digital world, we cannot use, obviously, physical objects. So we're bound to using this ledger system. Now, as I said, using a ledger requires maintenance. And so if someone has to think of, for example, the Federal Reserve, who manages the US dollar balance sheet, usually the maintenance is done by very privileged people, or maybe by a group of people, maybe that have a high stake in the network. Wink, wink, notch, notch. So what happens if someone tampers with that ledger? Well, we get inflation. And so, for example, if we look at the US dollar money supply, we can see this clear parabolic pattern where almost during the pandemic there in the end, you can see it go near vertical. 25% of all that supply was printed just in the last 2 years. Now, I don't have to explain the problems of inflation. We're currently experiencing all of them. And so how does Bitcoin solve this? Well, Bitcoin solves this through a decentralized consensus mechanism with the use of proof of work. So with proof of work, we can actually tie the physical world to the digital world. And so the physical energy, or real world energy, is used to maintain the scarcity in the digital world. And so that is the invention of Bitcoin. And for the first time, now it's possible to have a cap. We can have digital scarcity. And Satoshi chose arbitrarily 21 million.